Hey everyone, in this video I want to talk to you guys a little bit about anxiety, but before we talk about anxiety, I want to talk to you a little bit about my cats. I have 3 cats. Obviously, we feed them every single day. Every single day we will make sure that the bowls are full. There's never an empty bowl. They never go without eating for a day or anything like that. It's always provided. They always have it. Yet, when that bowl starts to get about halfway empty, or you can start to see the bottom just a little bit, there can still be 2 other bowls completely full. We have some like backup ones that automatically refill, and those can be full and everything, but you start to kind of see the bottom of one of these bowls. And the cats, particularly the tabby, once again, Olimar, he freaks out. He gets anxious. He starts meowing and kind of doing this cat howl thing. It's like he's scared that he's not going to get food. He's anxious that he's going to run out of food and not have anything to eat. It's interesting that despite the fact that we prove day after day after day after day after day that we will provide for you, we're going to make sure you have water, make sure you have food, he still gets kind of anxious. Well, my wife and I were kind of talking about this in a car ride to a camping trip, and one of us said, I wonder if that's kind of how God feels about us sometimes. And, you know, that kind of hits me where it counts, because I do get anxious a lot. That is something that I struggle with. I'll be honest with you guys about that. That is something that several of my family members and myself struggle with, is getting anxious, like about stuff coming up, and sometimes just about stuff like about nothing. Like we're just anxious. But the thing is, God has never not provided for me. Like he's maybe withheld things from me that he knew I shouldn't have at that time, or he obviously knows what's best for me more than I do for myself. Now I do try to make a habit of praying about it and letting God, you know, just take care of it, and trusting him and having faith in him. But sometimes I forget to do that, and sometimes it's such a struggle to go there first. And yet it's so silly, because he always provides for me. He always meets my needs. He always has. And it's like the cat with the food bowl. It's like every single day he meets my needs, and yet I still get anxious about what's going to happen tomorrow because I can't see it yet. And like Olimar can't see the food in his bowl yet. He ought to know it's going to be okay. When have we let you down? There's a verse, a section of verses. You can read all of this section if you want a lot more verses about anxiety, but I've talked about them a lot on this channel, so I'm not going to read through the whole thing, but I will read one part to you, and that is Matthew 6 verse 26 says, and this is English Standard Version, "Look at the birds of the air, they neither sow nor reap nor gather into barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not of more value than they?" So one helpful habit that I try to do for myself sometimes is just to remember and really think about all of the times where God has met my needs. And when I pray and God meets that prayer, I also try to have the habit of thinking about it, like, this is a circumstance where God has met my need. Like I came to him and he has met my need in this area. So it can be very easy to pray for stuff, and then God meets your needs, and then you just move on with your day because you're like safe and everything worked out. But try to think about that and try to see how God meets your needs, because then it can help you to have less anxiety for the future, because you really start to see and believe and have faith in, you know, the person who we worship, our God. And there was a lot of this. I won't go on too much of a tangent here, but if you read the Gospels, there was a decent amount of this stuff too, with people who were around Jesus panicking about stuff, and even after seeing him work all these miracles and teach all these amazing things, they still found themselves getting anxious or panicky about stuff. Jesus obviously had the power to take care of things. There's just a lot of faith lessons through the Gospels, and maybe some of those people were learning the same lessons that I'm learning in my life, and possibly you guys are too. But with that being said, I love you all. I hope that this video encourages some of you. Talk to me in the comments below, or talk to other people in the Discord server, also link below. And I love you all and hope to hear from you. Bye.